Hello, guys. You're welcome to Crypto Space again. I'm Chumber Augustine. If you're new to this channel, kindly click the like and the subscribe button. If you're an existing subscriber and always coming around, I do appreciate it a whole lot. Yeah, we're here at the market again at Crypto Bubbles, and as you can see, the market is much more different from the last time we saw it. Today, there's a lot of green. Ape is doing so well. Ape is down like 30.6%. Yeah, and you can see how it has moved so far to $4.61 per ape coin. And Bitcoin, well, is still at a minus 13.1%. Well, it's actually doing well. Actually doing well. We're going to look at a review of Bitcoin and Ethereum shortly. And then if you notice, you're going to observe that investors are diverting their attention from the major coin now to altcoin because of the crash that has happened with the major coins. And if you can see, altcoins are doing much more better today than the major coin, which are Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, but before we go right into the review, we're going to be looking at the major market news at CoinDesk. Now, stay with me while we go over the news. Then we'll go to the review of Bitcoin and see how far and how well it's doing, and see where it's gonna go most definitely. So we're here at CoinDesk. We're going to be looking at the trending market news. The first market news we have here is that Solana and Ether lead gains in relief rally, but traders say macroeconomic concerns remain. Yes, truly, Solana has pushed up a little bit in the past couple of days. It showed a positive growth, just like Ethereum, but Ethereum's growth is not so gainful and significant as such because it went down as well as Bitcoin did. But we can't take out the fact that the macroeconomic concerns remain because the market is driven by the forces of demand and supply. And let's go back to the second news. The second news is that Bitcoin sees a resistance of 21K as investors record losses of over $7 billion. Well, that's a huge loss. The market capitalization of Bitcoin dropped to $340 billion on Saturday. You can imagine how much lost investors have to shoulder. It's so much, yeah. Now we're going to the third one. The coupling of leaders stakes Ethereum differs from stablecoin collapse. Yes, pardon me, please. The coupling of leaders stake Ethereum differs from stablecoin collapse. Coin shares. Well, that's true. Staked Ethereum will trade at a discount until withdrawals are enabled. Well, it's all good still. Dogecoin sees weekend bump after Musk tweets synthetics volumes grow to $200 million. Well, we all know the Musk effect on Dogecoin and Memcoin that he gets involved in. Whatever he does happens to either make or mar that particular coin. Well, these are the trending news in the market at CoinDesk. So let's go to a review of how Bitcoin and Ethereum has done so far, and let's see where possibly they're gonna get to in the couple of weeks to come. So here we're going to be looking at how Bitcoin has fared so far. Well, if you look at how the market is going right now, you can see that it's actually building momentum and it's pushing up so far because the last couple of minutes I was talking, I checked it, it wasn't even in this position. It was around 20,500. So you can see that the market is pushing up so far. Investors are pushing in and the market is gradually going to rebound. Well, if you really ask me, I'm going to tell you that the market is going to bounce back, just like I said in my previous video, and it's going to get up to about 30,000 most likely by the end of this month. And if you come over to look at how Bitcoin has fared over the past couple of months and last year, you can see that it went down to as low as 17,622 dollars. Now that is a low it hasn't gotten to since last year. Now, pull up a line, if we get to pull up a line here to see when last it hit this particular point, we're definitely going to see that it's only happened last year. Now, if you come down to this particular position and let's pull up our line, you see it? It happened 2020, which is not even last year, which is last 2 years. Now, this is an all time low of 2 years that Bitcoin got to in the past couple of days. Now, this is what investors will have to battle with. Well, I'm very, very optimistic that the market is still going to bounce back like it has always done. The market is still going to bounce back, it's going to push back, and it's going to get up to $40,000 by the end of this month. But I'm still very, very, very much hopeful. And there are predictions that that the market is going to hit 15,000. I really, really do not think so, because from how much it has come, I think investors are definitely going to take advantage of this, because it is only when it gets down that you make much more profit. When the market is so uptight and is pushing up, if you get in, you stand the chance of losing so much, and you can actually gain so much, but the chances of losing is much more higher, because the market can as well crash. Like I said, like I always say in my videos, sometimes the market is driven by the emotions of the investors. They can decide to go in and decide to go out, especially when you're talking of the big whales. Now, if you look at the movement of the chart, now let's do a little bit of line again. If you look at the movement of the chart, you can see it has gone way down. Now, even if you look at the moving average currently, now the moving average and the indicators are still pointing downwards. But there's all indication that the market is pushing up. And if you look at what is happening today in the market, yesterday, the market had the market has a positive uptrend, and today we're still witnessing a positive uptrend. It's pushing up right now to about 20,871, which is good for the market, which is good for the market. But right now, if you're a day trader, if you're an active day trader, I will advise you trade with caution, so as not to get swallowed in the market, because right now the market is still very, very, very much volatile and unpredictable, somehow unpredictable at the moment, because it can as well crash, because mostly the long-term investors are still looking at the market skeptically, because they feel is still going to crash down. And when long-term investors with large funds in the market pull out, then we're going to witness a much more crash than we've witnessed before. And then it will fall into the hands of those people that say that Bitcoin is going to hit $15,000, which I really, really don't think that's going to happen right now. But my prediction for the month is that Bitcoin is going to get back to $40,000. Yes, $40,000. Quote me correctly and quote me anywhere. $40,000, and that is what we're looking at right now. Well, it still amazes me that Bitcoin hit an all-time low of 2 years. Just look at how much Bitcoin went down. How much Bitcoin went down. 2 years. 2020, that was when it went this low. Well, it's historical, and in the crypto business, everything is possible. You can have like $1 million in the crypto space, and the next 1 hour you can see that it has gone down to $1,000. Yes, it happens. Well, this is why investors will have to be very, very careful why trading in the crypto market. Well, if you're a day trader, like I said, you have to be very, very, very careful. If you're a sports trader, you're a margin trader, your eyes should be on the market and see how the market is faring. Well, let's go right into Ethereum and see what is happening. Well, Ethereum is definitely going through its own, but let's see how Ethereum is doing so far. But before then, let's look at where the market closed at yesterday. Yesterday, the market opened at $18,970, well, which is very, very good. It's still recovering, and then the all-time high it had was $20,815. Now you can see them. You can see them here. If you point on this today's yesterday's chart, you're gonna see it at the top. Yeah, at the top of the page. Now it has an all-time low of yesterday at about $17,960, which is cool. And then it closed at 20,574. I think that's about the same thing it's dancing to today, but I think we've recorded a high now, which is much more than the all-time high of yesterday. We've recorded it today, and Bitcoin is currently at 2854 and fluctuating up and down currently. So we've beat yesterday's all-time high, which means definitely we're going somewhere and we're seeing a positive trend. Now, this is good news. This is good news, yes, but let's not be so excited because things can still change. Well, let's hit the Ethereum market and see what is happening. Stick with me. Right here at the Ethereum market review, you're definitely going to understand and see that it is the same fate that befell Bitcoin that is actually befalling Ethereum right now, because Ethereum currently is at a market capitalization of $137 billion. Now you can check how far it has fallen, and like I always say, you can imagine how much investors had to endure. Now, if we look at yes, what happened yesterday? Bitcoin opened at a $995.12. Now, sorry, Ethereum, I meant. Now, this is an Ethereum that was actually at a price of 3,000, almost four, almost $5,000. Yes, with an all-time high. Now it's open today, yesterday rather, at a price of $995.12, with a high of $1,158.62 and a low of $936.15, and then it closes at $1,128.53. Now, Ethereum so far has had a share of the massive sellouts. Like I said in my previous video, no need to crack your head about why the market is crashing down. It is no rocket science. It's not what you have to break your head about. It is just the level of inflation. Now, investors don't want to be caught up in a quagmire. They don't want to be caught up between the should I say the devil and the deep blue sea. They don't want to be caught up in that situation because it is their money at play and they want to make good profit. So they get out of the market when they're scared that the market is definitely going to crash. So let's look at what is happening today. The market right now is doing so well. It opened at 1,128 $53, and the high it has gotten so far for today is $1,170, with a low of $1,053. Now it's still trading at 1,132 and still counting. Well, I'm very very hopeful that Ethereum is going to hit $2,000 pretty soon, even though the $2,000 mark seems a bit a bit far from where we are currently now. If you allow me to pull up a rectangle over it so you could see the distance we're talking about. This is the $2,000 distance, and this is where we are currently. Now you're gonna see you're looking at the difference now, but definitely the market is going to push this much pretty soon because investors are gearing up. The market is building momentum. Now, if you're talking about technical analysis, so for technical analysis and your fundamental analysis, rather, you're going to observe that some analysts will tell you that the market is building up a hammerhead. Now, this is a hammerhead, and this is much more like a hammerhead. And if you check what is happening in the market today, it's almost looking like a hammerhead, even though the day is not concluded and the market is still on, but it's looking very, very hopeful. Now, I saw an article where an analyst was saying that the market is having several hammerhead, which is an indication that the market is going to push up. Well, I personally am not looking at hammerhead, but I'm seeing a prospect in the market, and from what I'm seeing so far, investors are trying to as finding confidence, are seeing confidence again in the market to put their money in, regardless of what is happening in the world right now with the inflation. If you could recall, the first significant crash that Bitcoin had was caused by the Russia Ukraine war, and followed by the massive sell-off, which led to a depegging in UST, in Terra US, Terra Luna UST, and then now again, which is also a massive sellout, which crashed us to this particular point that we're trying to recover from. Now, from all this indication, investors have sat back and watched what is happening, and they're definitely going to come back into the market to make more profit because nobody would want to stay without making profit, regardless of how the markets fluctuate. Now, this is how Bitcoin is. This is how Ethereum rather is doing so far, but the market is still very, 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 very much young and is still very, very much hopeful. If you're a day or an active day, if you're a day or an active trader, I think you have to be very, very careful and very, very smart. Well, this is not a financial advice. I'm just a guy in his space saying what he knows from what he has observed so far. Now, this is the review of the Bitcoin and Ethereum and what is happening so far in the crypto space. I'm still Chumba Augustine. Kindly click the like and the subscribe button. If you don't, I'll be very, very sad because it won't help YouTube to help me. But if you do, it's going to help me a whole lot. And I'm going to try to improve on my videos and get more information to you as much as you need to be abreast with what is happening in the market. Thank you for sticking around.